Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Now, I'm gonna start this. I want to start this out by saying that we all have this one friend who swears a lot, and when be it he drops his pencil or he fails an exam, his reaction's exactly the same. So we don't really pay much attention to his reaction. We can't really tell what really. There's no difference. It's like a car that's moving really really fast. You can't tell if it's moving fast or not. But and we also have this other friend who never swears at all. So when he swears at something, that must be like a horrible thing that just happened. And that must mean the world to him of some sort. That's the first interpretation. The inflation principle, I have to call it. Everything, if you've studied business before, you understand what the inflation principle is. When there's too much of something, the value of it will inherently drop. And that goes for cash, for gold. It goes for the amount of words that you speak as well. And that's also why, and when we tend to cut out stuff that we deem to be invaluable, that's the way our brains function. And which is why I found out a really interesting way of speaking that it's pretty difficult to speak when there's a lot of people passing by. But this is also when I found out a really interesting way of speaking that would grab people's attention. And that is your speed of your voice. Like you mentioned, like how I mentioned just now, when you're speaking very, very fast, there's a lot of words coming out. Suddenly all of these words just become less valuable, you pay less attention to it, and then you just don't want to listen anymore. But if I slow myself down, suddenly I kind of grab your attention in a way. It's like these words that I'm speaking right now are more inherently valuable. An odd thing as well is that when you speak less, it kind of makes you a more interesting individual. When you speak a lot, we all know this one friend who's a yapper. He can talk about the most random shit about himself. It's usually not about the environment or some shit. It's about himself. Until you can read him like an open book. You can read him like the Three Little Pigs. Because he's already shared every information about himself. He's a man without secrets. The way I like to view it is that every human being is a puzzle. And tell me, when you play with a puzzle, if you've ever played with a puzzle, how many times have you touched that puzzle again after you have solved it? I'm guessing not a lot. But when you have that puzzle in your hands that's gifted to you as a child, how many days in a row have you been doing that same puzzle? I think a fly flew in my nose or some shit. How many days in a row have you been doing that one particular puzzle? Probably a damn long time, right? I remember I was gifted this like those metal puzzles in Daiso or something. I I had that shit. My dad just bought one for me, and I was seated there for like 2 weeks trying to figure out exactly how you fiddle around with the puzzle to get the two pieces unlocked. I'll show you a video about it. I mean I popped it up already, but yeah, how am I supposed to like pull out this puzzle? 2 weeks later, I went to YouTube it and I finally found out how to do it. But after that, that was in like when I was 13 years old. I never touched that puzzle again for like a good 5 years. Maybe once or twice just to like fiddle around with it. Okay, back in the drawer. So if you go about being that yapper who shares everything about his life straight away in the first 15-minute interaction, people are gonna put you away like a puzzle they've already solved. Well, that's humans. And you gotta play the game, You don't hate the game. No, that's not the phrase. I can't really think of the phrase I was looking for, but it's something along the lines of like that's the game you gotta play with the rules or it's I'll throw it on the screen. But then again, it's actually really difficult to sustain a conversation if you don't talk. Right? So how are you supposed to talk without talking? People in the background listening to this go like, what the hell is going on in this with this kid? But regardless, what I have written down here, it says, firstly, I really talk about making your words more valuable. But I found this one really, really useful. Last year I was like I was practicing my social skills and everything. I found this really, really, really useful. Ask questions instead of yapping. I was just reading this book, okay? Let's go pull it out right now. This book, Laws of Human Nature, by the same author as the one who wrote 48 Laws of Power. There's Robert Greene, my favorite author, my personal favorite author. And so, what Robert Greene said about human nature is that everybody has this desire to feel appreciated, acknowledged, to be acknowledged of their existence. And you can only get that through genuinely feeling from somebody. If somebody tells you like, oh, everybody, the world loves you and shit like that, you know all those like cringe notes that your school asks you to write on a post-it board. Yeah, those kinds don't mean shit unless you genuinely sit down with a person and you look them into the eyes. This is why they have the saying, eyes are the windows to the soul, or something like that. Eyes are the windows to one's soul. It's only then when you make genuine eye contact is when people can feel that sense of appreciativeness. And when you do that, plus you ask genuine questions about that person, in a way you are speaking less, but that gives you a position of power. It makes them it makes other people want to crave your validation. Holy shit, it sounds like I'm doing some sort of dark manipulation out here in the bloody public, but truth to be told, I just want to share this stuff with you, bro. I just find psychology so interesting. How you can use like psychology to improve your lives. Holy shit, bro. That's like a win for me. It took me so long to figure this out, but nah, now I'm gonna share everything with you. That's what the channel's about, anyways. If you like this kind of content, just drop a sub. Is that all I have? Oh yeah, that's the reversal. There's sometimes you just have to talk, right? Let me tell you this: you only talk when people are listening. Like as of right now, I know for a fact that you are listening because well, the fact that you got to this part of the video means that holy shit, bro, you're an amazing person. You're watching a small YouTuber talking about. I don't know why the recording stopped all of a sudden, but I'll just continue anyways. Think about it. There's two people. There's person A over here who really speaks little. There's person B over here, maybe you, who yap a lot. What if person A and person B is speaking at the same time? Who would everybody listen to? A person A, right? Because he's like the mysterious one. Nobody knows what he's going on. And now suddenly he's talking. Okay, we gotta listen. What's going on? That's just the way it works. It's like asking you. I'm gonna hand out two options. We've got a handful of dirt and a handful of gold. Which one would you grab? Well, the gold, no shit, right? Because the gold is more inherently valuable. But unlike gold and dirt, we can artificially deflate our currency. Is it? Yeah, we can artificially deflate our currency and make our the value of our words higher by merely speaking less. By merely speaking only when people are listening. Yeah, so yeah, that was my interpretation of this law. Personal favorite law. Hey, you know what? Pretty much done with today. It's gonna start raining really soon. Comment down what your interpretation of this law may be, and maybe your favorite law as well. I was thinking of doing an outro, but you know what? I gotta head home before I am drenched. Cheers, bro. Oomph.